The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
It's Gabs FM, power to engage your world. And of course, welcome to the Stars and Stripes radio show, proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy in partnership with Gabs FM. And remember, hashtag America in Botswana. And of course, today we're talking about a very, very important subject. As Samantha rightfully said, the theme of today's show is the Mandela Washington Fellowship, a program that embodies the spirit of unity, empowerment, and a shared vision for a brighter future. And of course, this one was named in honor of the iconic leader Nelson Mandela. This fellowship has become a beacon of hope for emerging African leaders, igniting a ripple effect of positive change across the continent. And of course, today we have the privilege and absolute privilege of speaking to Mr. Dominic Tau, who serves as the U.S. Embassy Deputy Public Affairs Officer. Dominic, what's up and welcome to the show. How are you, brother?
Swift, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here, and thank you for having me on the show along with our Return to Yali fellows.
Fantastic. Kindly pull your mic a bit closer to you so that nice one. Thank you so much. So when did you touch down in the Republic of Botswana?
So today marks the end of my third week here in Botswana.
3 weeks.
Okay, I got to tell you something. Now, the BW beef, right, is far superior to American beef. Don't let nobody tell you anything else, okay?
That's why I went on a diet before I got here.
All right. Nice one. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of the show. Look, kindly introduce yourself and your mandate with the U.S. Embassy in order for us to understand.
Sure, thank you, Swift, and good afternoon to your listeners. My name is Dominic Tau.
Okay.
And I'm the Deputy Public Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy. And my job is to be the sort of diplomat who shares America's story, policies, and programs with not just political figures, but every Botswana. And part of that job is to make our exchange programs like the Mandela Washington Fellowship we're talking about today a huge success for the participants.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And that one is a big hit with a lot of young people within the country. The Yali program is amazing. We know Zeus has been on it. Penyo has been on it. Penyo Moroka has been on it. And a number of leading young professionals who've gone on to do such great things. Talk to me, Sam.
Definitely. Dominic, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the Mandela Washington Fellowship for people who have no idea what it is. Please just explain what it is, what's the mandate of that program, and the objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. So the short answer is it's a program that connects hundreds of young leaders and innovators from Africa with leaders and innovators from the United States. And that happens over a whirlwind 6 weeks of networking, collaboration, knowledge sharing.
Whirlwind.
Yes.
It really is. You'll hear from our guests. I'm sure they'll tell you more about that. But this takes place at some of our most dynamic academic institutions. And then after that whirlwind 6 weeks, the fellows, and there were 700 of them this year,
Jesus,
come back from all parts of the United States and gather together in Washington, D.C. to network with not just each other, but leaders in the United States from NGO backgrounds, business leaders, government leaders, and hopefully that sets the stage for a great long-term relationship and friendship between the U.S. and countries throughout Africa.
Wow, it's Gabs FM, power to engage your world. Now, wherever you are headed to, you got to listen up. Please like, share, and interact with the U.S. Embassy Gaborone social media pages. If you are a parent and you've got a young child who's in high school, these are ways that you can engage with the U.S. Embassy, especially in line with preparing them for the future. These are rich opportunities offered by the U.S. government and facilitated by the U.S. Embassy. Look, Dominic, let's talk about, how does one qualify? A lot of Botswana, at times there can be an information gap. People are thinking, there are these great courses, and as rightfully said, you interact with 700 delegates from around the world that can impact your life in a big way. Talk to us about in terms of qualification and how one can apply for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a wonderful question. And you brought up that very important point. Sometimes even getting into that, taking that first step can be the hardest part. So I'll make this the one thing that everybody should know when they do want to take that first step is go to MandelaWashingtonFellowship.org. And don't worry, we'll put a link on our Facebook after the show.
Absolutely.
But the information's there. But in short, once you go there and submit your application on the website, if you make the cut, the board goes into kind of the mysterious place where the where the best applications rise to the top, and after that, finalists are selected in every sub-Saharan African country. And in the case of semifinalists from here in Botswana, they're invited to sit in in-person interview, and they'll have that chance to explain why they're the best and the brightest. And so next year's Botswana finalists may very well be interviewed by me or one of my colleagues.
Nice.
One caveat: it's part of the Young African, Leadership Initiative. So the applicants should ideally be between the ages of 25 and 35. But exceptions have been made if you're a little bit younger than that. So
okay, fantastic. And this is a great opportunity. And look, my next question, and Samantha, I'm sure this is your next question. When is the next intake? Right?
Yeah. Because you guys plan way ahead of time, right?
That's true. And that's such a hot question right now. So the answer, next week. So my colleagues in DC who announce these sort of things have said that expect applications to open on August 15th. And so I hope all of our future Mandela Washington Fellows will stay tuned on the U.S. Embassy Facebook page, U.S. Embassy Habarone, because we'll be able to post that live application as soon as it's available.
Powerful stuff. It's Gabs FM, power to engage your world. If you're a young person under the age of, or between the ages of 25 and 35, maybe if you're 23, 24, you could get lucky. But definitely like, share, and follow the U.S. Embassy social media pages. Remember, one thing that I got to ask you, Dominic, one thing that we've got importance of volunteerism, Samantha, and having the spirit of volunteerism, because it really puts or updates your profile.
But also documenting it.
I like that. That's an important conversation to have. Look, Dominic, before we love and leave you, how impactful has this program been in empowering Botswana's young leaders in context of human capital within the Republic of Botswana?
So I could ramble on about how impactful and great the program is, but I think examples of a couple of our alumni from past years will really speak for themselves. So one of our 2019 alumni, Christopher, we haven't met in person, but shout out to him. He's the founder of BW Jobs for Graduates.
Oh, nice.
Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
He's one of our alumni.
Wow.
And his organization is tackling one of the big challenges for young people, not only here, but everywhere. That's getting a great job after college.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I can plug just one more.
Yeah.
Because, their impact is great, and I really want to, pump them up. Her name is Mona Lisa, 2016 alumni.
Nice.
And got to give her a big kudos here, too. She directs Molau Matters.
Yeah, she's the lawyer. I'm a lawyer friend.
Yes.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, clearly, Swift and Samantha, you do, but it's an organization that helps Botswana who face barriers to legal help when situations arise, helps them know the law and stand up for their rights. So
absolutely. Well, it's Gabs FM, power to engage your world. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of the show. Welcome to the Republic of Botswana. And of course, we will engage with you further. Let me give you this opportunity to share your parting statement. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Thanks for the opportunity. And I hope we get plenty of applicants this year. And it's going to be my pleasure to, hopefully welcome you to the United States.
Absolutely. Well, it's Gabs FM, power to engage your world. If you've just joined us, thank you so much. We're talking Mandela Washington Fellowship, a program offered by the U.S. Embassy, or rather facilitated by the U.S. Embassy on behalf of the U.S. government. Look out for that conversation. On the other side of this, let's hear from young Botswana who've been part and parcel of this program and whether or not it was impactful. Look out for that conversation coming your way. 12:23 is your time. Good afternoon.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
start to ask.
I hate to talk over big
I know,
SCAR,
right?
and this is a classic one. MOD, Preach, and of course, alongside Scar, HC Tauton. And well done to Scar for his podcast, huh?
Love it, love it. He's pushing in all the right direction.
Absolutely. But if you've just joined us, welcome to the Stars and Stripes radio show, proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy in partnership with Gabs FM, hashtag America in Botswana. And we're talking leadership. On the other side of this, we're going to hear from a young lady in the agricultural sector. Women in farming, that's a big deal. And of course, she is a beneficiary of a U.S. Embassy program. Let's hear from her.
On the other side of these.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
Well, it's Gabs FM, power to engage your world. Now, remember, investing in young leaders is of paramount importance for several compelling reasons. Firstly, young leaders possess fresh perspectives, innovations, and of course, ideas, and a deep understanding of their own challenges and aspirations for their generation. So that is why today's show is such.
It's very important. And today, if you've just joined in, we are talking to two young leaders who were recently on the Mandela Washington Fellowship. They've just come in, but on the line, we're crossing over to Mayor Bojosi Ncube, who is the executive director and founder at Temotuo Setho. Hi, Bojosi.
Afternoon, Samantha. Afternoon to the Get FM listener.
How are you doing today?
I am doing good. It feels good to be back home. I missed home after 6 weeks of spending time in the United States. How are you all?
One question before we get into it. What's the one thing that you missed most about being back in Botswana?
Let me tell you. The one thing that I kept on repeating every morning was that I miss our flat land because I was in a mountainous region
Okay.
with a high altitude and the walking was tough. So
Yo.
I missed the flat surface of Botswana back home.
Love it. Let's get straight into it, Bojosi. We did say, in introducing you, you are the executive director and founder at Temotuo Setho. Let's just talk a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do? What are you passionate about?
Thank you. So I've been working for over 7 years worth of experience as an agronomist.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So what that entails basically is I was working with farmers in rural farming communities. So I spend most of my time in the farms, ranging from Panda and Francistown. You'll never find me anywhere in the city. And, I was contributing very, very much into how we produce our food, into the food security of our country in a small, significant and technical way. But over that time, I had a passion for contributing on a more social level, which is why through the Mandela Washington Fellowship, actually, I then found Temotuo Setho.
Wow.
Which translates to agriculture for humanity.
Wow.
And what we are essentially trying to do here in Francistown is to leverage food and agriculture to tackle sexual violence against women and girls. As I was listening to the news this morning, to get the news, sexual violence against women and girls in our country is so high.
It's high.
Yeah, it's a
very
pandemic.
concerning. And it was well within my right and within my resources as an agricultural professional to do something that could impact our societies. Because Temotuo is one way of uniting us as a society, of uniting us as a nation. During Bole Tlhafula, we would come together as families through farming. And I thought to myself, how about we restore that same humanity to come together as families, as communities, to have critical conversations around why is there such, gender-based violence against our women and girls in rural farming communities, starting with Francistown and looking to scale across Botswana.
Fantastic. Look, Bojosi, let's talk about the program that you are on, Botswana Baba, where they don't know of the program. And I would like you also to touch on, the value of the program. Was it an impactful experience as an agronomist? Is there something that you can take back from the program and, give it to the Republic of Botswana?
Yes. First of all, I was based in the Civic Institute
nice.
at State in Boone, North Carolina, and I learned quite a lot through this program. First of all, volunteerism or community engagement. I completed about, on average, I think 20 hours of community service there. And I learned the importance of just engaging and mobilizing your community to come together and volunteer to do something that could change your country, could change your community. I also learned the power of collaboration. While we were there, we not only collaborated with our American counterparts, but we met as young people from across Africa and established the common ground of where are the certain spaces and where can we collaborate and come together to build such a strong, robust team, not only to solve problems in Botswana, but to solve problems across Africa and America with shared challenges. And also the power of, networking. Networking is such an understated,
Absolutely.
that we need as young people. Nowadays, whether it's a business, whether you're an organization, you thrive based on your network. Your network is the one that will, show you, guide you, mentor you. So that was one thing that I really, really gained from the program. And in terms of bringing change, of course, there's so much change that we are bringing to Botswana. For instance, when we were in the US, our embassy hosted us, and it even introduced us to the Friends of Botswana, who are doing amazing things both in America and in Botswana.
Wow.
And as we were coming as young people, we looked for ways to foster those relationships so that we can exchange knowledge and bring expertise to our home country. So we are looking forward to, as the alumni of this program, to be applying for the reciprocal exchange, where we'll be bringing some of the experts that we met in America to come and implement some of our ideas here in Botswana as we impact our society.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to put you in the Midday Fix cabinet, okay? Your portfolio and ministry will be the Ministry of Agriculture, okay? We have our own little cabinet, and shout out to you. You're doing a great job.
You know what? Bojosi, you are such an exceptional woman. And, you're talking about the power of collaboration and networking. Those are some of the lessons that you have picked up from your 6 weeks. Now, let's talk about bringing it home. Let's talk about the impact of this specific program. What would you say to other Botswana young leaders who are thinking of applying? Because the applications are going to be out in the next week or so.
Yeah.
What are your parting words to somebody who's thinking, should I, shouldn't I, should I? What would you like to say to that young Botswana who's listening to you, having experienced this amazing program?
So I would say to a young Botswana that no dream is too small and no space is too limited to be in this program. I remember when I was applying as an agronomist, I kept on saying, oh, wow, what am I going to be doing here? But, no dream is too small. If there's anything that, you are thinking of, it could be baking, it could be literally any skill that you have, and you want to scale it up, and you want the impact to be felt, not only in Botswana, but across the global stage. This is the program for you. It is so empowering. It opens up your mind. It gives you a global perspective, and it exposes you to even different African cultures. You come back now as a bigger giant, ready to take on the world and even impact your community. So if you're a young Botswana, I especially encourage you to apply. Young women, I especially, encourage you to apply so that, when you come back, really, really, you come and do great things here in Botswana, because we need young people. Young people are not only the future, but they are the present. So we need them to be so empowered so that we can take our country forward as a people.
Wow, man. Definitely. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of the show. I got a caller. Let me just take this caller. Gabs FM, good afternoon. Tipapa.
Yes, sir. No, I'm just calling to say to BJ, congratulations.
Ah, nice.
I really love what she's doing. She says she's doing it in my part of the country.
Hey, lovely.
So, and just to say, Dan Lizibo is always available to assist wherever I can. So congratulations, my sister. We're very soon.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, big guy. Bojosi, let me ask you something as an agronomist. Indigenous crop. How important is that in your line of work, and what would you say to the nation in line with what would you say in line, and what's your perception of that?
Actually, I think our indigenous food are very, very important. I think that's our unique footprint as a country, as Botswana. And it's something that through Temothuo Setho, we will be leveraging some of that indigenous knowledge to restore back the knowledge that we used to have when it comes to our Setswana.
Wow.
Because that is where our value is. That is where really we can shine as a country, as our come to even learn outside. What marketing when it comes to selling Botswana, those are superfoods.
Yes.
And we need to go back to, that civic form of agriculture. So when you're talking about indigenous food, as an agronomist, as a founder of Temothuo Setho, that's the reason why the Temothuo Setho, agriculture for humanity,
Wow, powerful stuff. You get my vote again. Have a fantastic afternoon, okay?
Thank you, and good afternoon to everybody in studio and to the Gabs FM listener.
Have a great day. Wow, man. Wow.
Young people are working extra hard.
And you can hear her passion, her understanding, and this is the impact. This is impact, and would like to encourage you. The next cohort is open, or the applications for the Young Mandela Washington Fellow program is opening on the 15th of August.
Next week.
That is next week. Like, share, and interact with the U.S. Embassy page, because you can go out and network with over 700 delegates in the United States, and as well establish economic bridges to impact our own. Look out for the conversation on the other side of this. We're going to catch up with another Yali fellow who's in the building. He's right here in studio. Look out for that conversation coming your way. Good afternoon.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
Gabs FM, power to engage your world, and welcome back. Talking young people, talking young leadership, talking the Mandela Washington Fellow, and of course we're going to move along swiftly with the conversation. Talk to me, Sam.
It's definitely getting heated in studio. I think the positive energies are slowly rubbing off on us. And in studio, we're talking to somebody who was here 6 or 7 weeks ago, Swift.
Actually, you're right.
I'm right. So because Reo was here before they jetted off to America, so it's very good to see him back here. What did he learn? How the experience was? And in studio this afternoon, we are talking to and hanging out with Babuluki Semele. Hi, Babuluki.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's great to see you
hi
again.
To the listeners, good to see you.
Yeah,
good to be back into my country.
Some of us were stalking you on Instagram, so I saw some of your posts on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. When did you get back?
We came back on Sunday.
Oh, so you're fresh off the boat.
Yes.
Fantastic. Wow. So, look, for those that don't know.
And my luggage is still not here.
What you mean?
Okay.
You understand? So,
you should have
officially I'm not yet here.
Okay. You should have got Apple AirTags, so that you can trace them.
But at least I know where they are.
Moving swiftly along, pun intended, Babuluki, for those that don't know yourself, kindly introduce yourself and, of course, who you are, your mandate, the organization you represent. Talk to us.
All right. I am Babuluki Semele. I serve as the clerk of the African Youth Parliament, which is available in all the 55 member states of the African Union. I also sit in the African Union high-level panel on emerging technologies, where we are trying to advise the member states of the African Union on how to use the emerging technologies to enhance the lives of the citizens, be it in health, agriculture, or any other sector. So we want the member states to leverage the emerging technologies to advance the livelihoods of the citizens.
Powerful.
So basically, that's what I do. But there is more.
He's making it seem like it's nothing. He's
and he makes us feel like Totala. What are we doing, Samantha? Jesus.
Wow.
Look, what track were you on? The thing that I love about, your portfolio is that, next year is the 2024 election.
Yeah, he's talking about being a clerk on the African Youth Parliament. The election
there's first-time young people who do not understand the power of their democratic right to vote. They're first-time voters. So that's why it's so important for, young people like yourself to be part and parcel of these programs. Let's talk about the program that you were on specifically. Talk to us.
Yeah. I was in the civic engagement. I was placed at the presidential precinct in Virginia, in Charlottesville.
Okay.
And I've actually had the opportunity. We started first in Williamsburg, or William and Mary Institute. where we actually were showed where our great grandparents were auctioned as slaves when they first went to the US. So we saw where everything took place, the cross they were like kind of put on, and the auction spaces where they were auctioned. And then from there we went to Montpelier, where the fourth president of the US actually stayed. So we had an opportunity to sleep there for 5 days.
Oh, wow.
We also saw where he actually enslaved about 600 slaves. And we also got to a place where the Constitution of the US was written, and we had an opportunity to be taught constitutionalism and how to interpret the Constitution as the civic leaders.
How was that experience, brother? I mean, look, that's there's such a huge contrast from being Botswana, and then you're on the other side of the world, and you're dealing with issues related to civil rights. You're dealing with issues related to translating the Constitution. I mean, we had the constitutional review, Botswana. Talk to us.
Yeah, it was quite eye-opening, and I'm saying this because last year I was privileged enough to appear before the commission during the constitution review, and I think my reasoning then was from the blind spots, but this time around, if I can be given an opportunity to appear, I know what to look at, because now I know how to interpret the Constitution. I know the loopholes that I actually gave my time to read the Constitution of Botswana and to see all the loopholes that are in there, the things that ought to be corrected. And I actually realized that even most of the civic leaders, we are just, advising from, the blind spots. But now we need to come together as civic leaders, both the young people and those who are actually advanced in age, to come together and learn the Constitution and also show the powers that be what is accountability.
Powerful stuff, man. That's absolutely powerful. And that's something that we could take for granted. Go ruta Botswana what their constitution means to them and how it impacts their lives. Look, Samantha, let's continue. What you got for him?
You've learned a lot, as well as also looking at the history of America and coming back here. You did say that you re-looked at the Constitution and you're trying to make adjustments based on where you were last year, because you didn't know better last year. And I think that's the beautiful thing of growth. Now let's look at young people. The lessons that you've learned, what else would you like to bring to young people in Botswana apart from the Constitution? Let's look at other things that you've learned that you'd like to bring back here.
Yeah, this is actually a very exciting question because it speaks to what I want to do.
Okay.
We are going for elections. You remember that when I was here, I actually talked about the fact that 2029, I'm one of the young people who wants to raise my hand to say, elect me.
Yes, I do recall that.
Now the vision is enlarged. I am setting up a consortium for political emancipation of young people. Where if you are a young person, you want to contest for a seat as early as 2024, we're going to take you, coach you, teach you how to interpret the Constitution, teach you how to do legislative drafting, teach you how to design the branding strategy and the campaign strategy so that 2024, when you go for elections, you're ready. You're ready. So that's I'm glad that I got a little funding from some partners in the US.
You already got funding, my brother. Hey, I think I'll be. I can be one of your students. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. So with this funding, we actually were given an opportunity to pitch what we want to do. So I told them that when I go back to Botswana, I want to do campaign simulation. So every young person who wants to run for the political office here, parliament, and next year, and by young we mean obviously maximum 35 years.
Okay.
So we're going to take them. I have two gentlemen who were campaigning the previous elections in the US. They are coming down to Botswana to actually do the campaign simulation and teach them what campaigning is.
Wow.
And the third one is a lady who is very powerful. She's the advisor to Senator Hillary Clinton and the advisor to...
Wait.
People are not sleeping.
Let's celebrate this young man. 3956962. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation and share your thoughts on what a young person, Wanawalona, is going ahead of you and trying to achieve. I must say, I am absolutely impressed, my brother. That is fantastic. You're definitely showing. I think President.
I can't even speak.
We might as well give it to him. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so this lady actually was quite helpful in helping Hillary during the campaign, and also the former president of Liberia, Mayor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Yeah.
So she's coming here as well to kind of impact this knowledge on the young people who want to run for office next year. So we are praying and hoping that at least by November, this campaign simulation will be there, because I've not been sleeping. The moment I came here, I rallied young people who are interested, and we are working around that program.
Now, let me tell you, Samantha and I, what we are going to do, okay?
Yes.
We're going to definitely offer you our platform, whether on the Stars and Stripes radio show or on our other show, which is the Midday Fix Reloaded. Whatever you need in terms of a media platform, in terms of whether it is rallying young people, whether it is you need interviews, whatever you need, we will commit right now in front of the whole nation
going to make
say,
me cry.
we got your back. Let me take this caller. Gabs FM, good afternoon. 3956962. I'm committing. Samantha and I are saying, you know what? We're going to commit to your vision, because at the end of the day, they say leaders will come from amongst us, and that is a powerful story. Gabs FM, good afternoon.
Hello.
Motsadi wa ka le teng. Erra, talk to us, sir.
Mme Ramolebogif o setola ga ditso mo gonang go te di benchmarking programs le bone ba ga rona ba America la ba mo ba tare le ba yang gore kana di tsa mala tsenya ke mathata gone gore ba tswa kwa America mme ba tsile gae ditso tse di botlhokwa mme ke tsela gore ya ka tlhalosa Batswana bangwe le bone ba ka tsa botsipa mo go ene a botsisha mono ke mo go botlhokwa gore ke tsana le yone hetele mo go ba bangwe.
Thank you.
Bangwe le bone ba na le gore ba ka kopitse sa se dirang go sa sologela la tsela rona ka tsala mo ke dikgantsa go tse neng gore di botlhokwa tota.
Thank you.
Ka ya mela le ka le bo.
Are benchmarking with evidence.
With purpose.
We're tired.
Hey.
Look, we're fast running out of time. Brother, let me give you this opportunity to share your parting statement. What would you like to say to the nation in line with the program you just experienced? And, other young people to say, look, keep your eye on the U.S. Embassy social media platforms, because, your life has just changed. I like what you said. You looked at the constitutional review from a blind spot. Now you're more informed. But hold
better.
that. Gabs FM, good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Hey, moto na le teng.
Re nyare teng. Kuta ngwana re ba ne ba goroga go ne ba Africa a sutelwa teng.
Erra.
Ke ra re se mo sa teng se le ga sentjang o tsegile jang gono mo gape ne le swe ke ba a ke bone the black Americans kana ne le swe ke puso ya yona America ka ile batho ba mala ono ne ba re suta kana ne le swa ke bone ba sutegileng mme le ga le kuta le gore go a itumedisa gore bo ta ga style sa America go ta go se kwa re ke re a mme go botlhokwa thata ha ke lebile ma America ba ka ba dirang ka teng go mahatsing a mangwe kana ga ra le ba Botswana hela gore mme ha re ka tara ra dirisana le bone ka mokgwa o lona ba ka re brainwash ka teng gore mme go tabo go siametse ene motho mo ntshu mo Africa mme go ga bone motho mo ntshu ba santse ba le mo moeng ono lo bogologolo ole a ke tswa ke a utwala sentereso.
Thank you, sir.
Clear. And what I can say is that one of the things that we can learn from Nelson Mandela, when he left the prison, the only thing that he had in his, if he was not able to forgive, he would still be in prison. So when we landed in Virginia and we saw all that, and we saw the kind of remorse, we felt that if we continue holding the grudges against the white Americans, then
power of
would still be in prison. And one thing that we also noticed is that change doesn't take place overnight. There is one place where we're taken to this railway station where there were doors labeled colored only, white only. And, inside there was a code. We are perceived as equal. We are told we are equal, but we are not perceived as that. But the statement, it kind of changed, because in Charlottesville, when you look at racism, it's very minimal. Like, we blended well. So it's going to take a lot of time, and it is us who can actually teach the people by showing them the right direction.
But one thing that you got to respect about American culture is the ability to talk about difficult issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't run away from it. They're saying, okay, we do have a past of slavery.
Yeah.
We do have a past of racism. Let's sit down. Let's interact. And those are things that we as Botswana can learn in line with accountability.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I have to give you 1 minute in closing. Sorry, my brother.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm going to talk about the application. It's going to be open next week. I'm here. I started applying for this program from 2014.
Yes.
Year in, year out, without giving up.
Yes.
And I finally made it. 2023 when I'm only 35 years, and this was my do or die year. So I made it. And then the last parting statement would now go to the government offices. We came from the United States with this knowledge, with expertise, experience, and everything. We are going to knock in your offices. Please
open the door.
President, when we're in the US, we are watching. He launched something, sir, mindset change.
Yes.
Please, government
Open the
offices, mindset change. When you come and knock, please, mindset change. Welcome us, open your doors, and let us, hold, because there is only Botswana that we can give back to. And if you don't give us that platform as government officers, then we don't know which Botswana to rescue.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
Wow, the future is definitely bright. We have what it takes. You know what I'm saying?
The present is bright.
The present is bright. We have what it takes. We have phenomenal young people that are willing to count the cost and move it forward. Wow.
And I love the fact that it's young people who really love Botswana and their country, and they want to give back to where they've grown up. Yeah.
Well, moving swiftly along, pun intended, we have our good friend Nonhlanhla. She's in the building, and today we're talking about some of the opportunities for you, the Botswana. Unfortunately, this particular opportunity speaks to those that have been part and parcel of any U.S. Embassy grant or program, and this allows one to impact their own communities. Welcome to the show, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Swift. Good afternoon, Samantha, and thank you very much for having us today. Before I go on with the opportunity funding, I'm really impressed that when our young Botswana come back to the country, they put what they have stated in their proposals to reality.
To work,
yes.
absolutely.
So today I'm going to talk about the current funding opportunity, which is running and is closing in August 30. So I encourage the alumni of U.S. government sponsored exchange programs to apply for this opportunity. It is open. It is an open competition to all our alumni. It doesn't matter which program you completed with us.
Fantastic.
Yes. And the priority areas for the current fund, we are looking at fostering a culture of entrepreneurship. So your project needs to promote or develop best practices in business and entrepreneurship here in Botswana. We are also looking at proposals that are targeting empowering women and girls to participate in governance. And the project should empower women and girls in civil society and public service. We are also looking at promoting and advancing science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics to diversify the economy. So the project should promote opportunities for education, particularly for underrepresented and marginalized groups. Those are the emerging groups. my portfolio.
I like that.
And the projects should also include mentorship programs in the areas that I've just mentioned. We are also considering proposals for English language. And lastly, the proposals should also look at climate change, in particularly mitigating the effects of climate change in Botswana.
Absolutely.
Going forward into the target audience, we are looking at proposals that are targeting the youth. That is, the youth in Botswana is 18 to 35. So your proposals should look at that. The length of the performance period is from 4 to 6 months. So the funding will fund your project, which is between 4 to 6 months, not less than 4 months, not beyond 6 months. So specifically within that timeline. And the amount for the funding is between $10,000 and $20,000.
Okay.
And when you do your budgeting, make sure that your budgeting is in the US dollar currency, not pula, because when you do your reports, you'll be reporting in
dollars.
Okay. Yes.
Fantastic. Unfortunately, we fast run out of time. Let me give you 20 seconds.
Okay. For more information about this funding, go to bw.usembassy.gov/embassy/funding. Then you go to financial year 23 alumni funding. That's where you'll get everything about the funding.
Let's do the right thing. Remember, like, share, and interact with the U.S. Embassy Gaborone social media pages. Let me tell you something. The only way I can close this show is like this.
The Stars and Stripes show was brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.